I survived what I've been through. Y'all got drama, the saga continues. Go win.
All right. Welcome in. No Diddy. Week 15, baby. Got a lot of games on the slate. 13. I think that's the highest we've had on an afternoon slate. So a lot to choose from, a lot to talk about tonight. But before we do that, it is time officially for the drawing of the hoodie. I'm going to pass it off to Gabe with his little Titans cup. Cole, give us a little drum roll action.
Drum roll for effect.
All right, so not a lot of entries. Only got 42 YouTube subscribers, so really the only people eligible for subscribe to both TikTok and YouTube. And the winner, yeah, I had to use sticky notes, so they're kind of stuck together. Gotta pull one that's not stuck. I'm struggling.
I think it only goes for 30 seconds.
There we go.
Yeah,
All
the suspense, man.
All right, I got it. And the winner is Breeze.
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go. He deserves it.
He does.
Deserves it.
that dude is dedicated.
Hey, Breeze, happy for you, brother. Glad you got it.
That's a day oneer right there.
Oh, dude, I'm glad he won.
I don't think you can find anybody better for that.
I know.
No, you definitely can't. No.
Stay
Super happy
tuned.
for you, man.
I'm gonna send you a message on TikTok. Probably need to get your address and some details about the size of your hoodie. I promise you, I won't come visit you if you live in Philadelphia. You don't have to worry about that.
Long way away.
Yeah, I'll send you your hoodie and I'll ask you what color you want and all that stuff. But hey, dude, congratulations!
Congrats, brother.
So it's all
Happy
about.
for you.
So it's all about.
That's right. Well, we got some games to talk about. Week 15, like I said, 13. We'll start how we always start. Quarterback position. I've got like 7 written down. I'm only going to choose 3, maybe 4. But Cole, do us the honors, brother. What do you have quarterback week 15 value?
You say Jacoby Brissett, then we can't.
Well, do I have some bad news for you guys? I've got Jacoby Brissett at 5,500. And the only reason I'm doing it is because he's going 8 straight games with 20 points. And I'm going to pick him until he doesn't have 20 points.
Aren't they playing Houston?
They're playing Houston, yes.
Boy.
And I'm pretty sure Michael Wilson is hurt. I don't know. Marvin Harrison's questionable. But Michael Wilson's salary has made a tremendous jump this week. So, nightmare matchup for him. He might lose a streak this week. But if you're scared, go to church. Don't come to the fancy blueprint. Second guy I got Jackson Dart, 5,600 against Washington, with Washington being 28th versus QBs and 29th in passing yards allowed per game or points allowed per game. The opportunity's there for him to have a big day. It's intriguing for me. I like his ability to run. And the third guy I got, Mr. Bust Down My AP himself, Shedeur Sanders, 4,700 against Chicago.
Let's go.
I think it's the perfect timing to pick him with 37.5 points against Tennessee last week. The Bears are 25th against quarterbacks. They're 21st in passing yards allowed per game. And they're 24th in points allowed per game. So confidence in Shedeur Sanders is going to go up each week. It's definitely going to go up now that he's thrown, 4 touchdowns last week? How many touchdowns was it?
He accounted for 4. He had 3 passing, 1 rushing.
3 passing, 1 rushing. So obviously the rushing ability is there. That's what he's known for, is his legs. I'm just kidding. He is not known for his legs. Yeah, man, Shedeur Sanders, 4,700. That's pretty dang cheap for a guy that just dropped 37 the week before and is not playing a great defense. So he's got an opportunity again to contribute. But those are my 3 guys. Hopefully I didn't take any of y'all's guys. Tyler Shuck's another guy that I like. Against Carolina. He finally had a little breakout game with his legs. Running read options and things like that, which was completely unexpected.
Didn't he have 2 rushing touchdowns?
2 rushing touchdowns. Somebody bet him. I saw somebody bet him. I guess they woke up and had a plum pick, bet him to have 2 rushing touchdowns, and the payout was stupid.
can't tell me there's not a time machine if you tell me that 100%.
Yeah, you ain't lying, dude.
He had some wheels, man. I was impressed. So we might have a quarterback in New Orleans. We just
All right,
might.
pump the brakes.
Yeah,
We just might.
slow.
But those are my guys that I got picked quarterback position wise. Hopefully, you guys have got something different with so many games. Let's see
Oh,
what you got.
I've got
Three.
plenty,
I
but
got
I'll let
three.
Gabe go.
I mean, I'm going to elaborate
I'll,
a little bit on Jackson Dart.
yeah,
To allow me. I mean, he's got the best matchup on paper, and also
yep.
he's at the best salary. Just some quick stats, real quick. The Washington Commanders are allowing 20 points, fantasy points a game to the quarterback position, and also allowing 27 points a game. Their defense is, and just some notable quarterbacks that have had fantastic games against the Washington Commanders defense.
All of them.
JJ McCarthy, 20.4, who has been up and down,
Awful.
kind of mid. Bo
No,
Nix,
there's no kind of mid. He's been trash.
terrible, but he dropped 20 on Washington. So what do you think Dart's gonna do? That's the
Yeah,
scary thing. Bo Nix also scored exactly 20.4, which is weird. They both scored the same exact number of points, and then Sam Darnold scored 31.2. So that's three quarterbacks. You could honestly put one in the terrible category and the other two kind of in the mid tier category, but all
yeah,
scored over 20 points. And you're talking about Jackson Dart, probably the best rookie quarterback in this class as far as production so far this year. So obviously
yeah.
he'll be high owned, I think, on this slate, but for good reason. He has some really high upside. But my favorite pick at the quarterback position is Marcus Mariota at 5,000. They're playing up against the Giants, so you got Dart and Mariota going against each other. The New York Giants defense is allowing 21 fantasy points per game to quarterback, so more than the Commanders defense. And he's got his weapons back. If you watch that Denver Broncos game, Marcus Mariota looked like dadgum prime Lamar Jackson mixed with Josh Allen and absolutely eviscerated the Denver Broncos defense and honestly should have won that game. And he's surprisingly giving you good rushing upside with 41 rush yards a game. That's a passing touchdown, 4 points.
Yep.
Yeah, 24 points versus Denver. He also threw the ball 50 times in that game versus Denver, and I think he's going to have to throw a lot against Washington or against the New York Giants, especially if Jackson Dart gets it rolling. So I really
Yeah.
like Mariota at 5,000. I mean, that's 15 fantasy points. I think he gets that pretty easily in that game with a
Yeah.
couple passing touchdowns and rushing
And
upside.
we've talked too about how Commanders have just struggled to run the ball this year.
Oh yeah,
It's been a confusing backfield, so I think that makes you like Mariota even more if it's a high scoring game.
hot take. You could argue Mariota's been better than Jade Daniels this year. You could argue it
I'll allow it.
I
I'll allow it.
won't make a comment on it.
He's averaging 18.5 in all his starts he's averaging 18.5 fantasy points. Mariota is. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, they say the
I'll
best
allow it.
ability is availability, and Marcus Mariota's been more available than Jaden Daniels has this season. So
and I'm not gonna
Okay.
say I'm not gonna say I'm taking Marcus Mariota over Jaden Daniels. I'm just saying this year in his starts he's played, Mariota's played better, mainly because Jaden Daniels has battled injuries, and so I mean that's really why. But anyway, I like him. Stack potential with him is crazy when you look at the pass catchers for Washington, which I'll go on in later. Uh, this is a I don't know about you. You may say this. I mean, I had Joe Burrow last week. He's playing against Baltimore. So they played Baltimore twice in the last 3 weeks. He had 19 points versus them. I think he's a good play. But really, the quarterback I'm looking at against in that game is Lamar Jackson at 6,400. Cheaper. He's the seventh cheapest quarterback on the slate. And I looked up his stats versus Cincinnati. He's 10-3 in his career versus Cincinnati, averaging 260 total yards and 2 touchdowns and an average of 61 yards on the ground versus Cincinnati. And the last time they played, and Lamar Jackson put up an absolute stinker with like 9 points. And they're playing in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's playing better on offense. I think they score points competitive. I think Lamar Jackson at 6,400, a perennial MVP candidate on that team. It's a crazy price for me at 6,400. So I do like Lamar Jackson there. And that's really my three quarterbacks: Mariota, Lamar, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, like I said, small sample size. He had a great game versus Buffalo, who was only letting up 12 points a game to the quarterback position, and he scored 25 with 4 passing touchdowns. I mean, talent over matchup in that one. It succeeded kind of what we were thinking. So those are my three. Britton, what you
I
got?
love it. I've got Jackson Dart and Lamar Jackson. I won't hit on them because y'all talked about them enough. But I've got a couple other guys just to think about as you're building your lineups. Trevor Lawrence at 5,700 against the Jets. New York's middle of the pack in passing statistics on defense. But the last 2 weeks, the Jets have allowed 30.5 points per game. So they're allowing points, which you like to see. And then on the flip side of it, Trevor Lawrence, the last 3 games, he's had 21.1, 21.7, and 19.4, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's playing much better. I think with their ability to run the ball now, ETN's been pretty solid the last couple of weeks. I think it opens up a lot for Trevor Lawrence. I like him this week at 5,700. One of my favorite plays is obviously Lamar, but I like CJ Stroud a lot at 5,200 versus Arizona. In 3 of their last 5 games, Arizona's allowed 40 plus points per game, which is crazy. Or they've allowed 40 points in 3 out of 5 games, is what I'm trying to say. But CJ Stroud, price is low because he hasn't been great since he came back from his injury. But I think this is a bounce back spot for him. Arizona's defense just isn't great. I feel like this is a game kind of where you could see them throwing 3 touchdown passes, kind of similar to what he did against Baltimore this year. So I like CJ Stroud a lot at 5,200. And then another guy I've got just to kind of zag a little bit is Sam Darnold at 5,800 versus Indianapolis. Indianapolis allows 246.3 passing yards per game, which is the 4th worst in the NFL. Sam Darnold's also coming off a big performance with 249 yards and 3 touchdowns against Atlanta. And then the other contributing factor to why I like them is the Indianapolis quarterback situation, which we can talk about in just a second. But I would expect if it's Leonard or Phillip Rivers, I would imagine turnovers will be involved in this game, allowing more offensive possessions for the Seahawks. But we can dive into that one a little bit. I think
shout out to Riley Leonard from
Hold on. Let's set this up real quick. Hold on.
For the Indianapolis Colts this weekend. Phillip Rivers will not start unless Riley Leonard's leg
Let's
is
set
off the bone.
let's set this up real quick, and let's get an opportunity to use the soundboard here. All right. So
we have a new guy.
So
breaking news.
All right, so everybody that's been paying attention, Daniel Jones has tore that Achilles. All right, so he went down, and they have signed Grandpa Old Man Rivers, Phillip Rivers. So let's get your opinion. Who are we expecting to have a bigger potential day if Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers gets the call to start this weekend?
I don't think either of them have a good game, no matter either of them starts. You saw what Seattle did to the rookie quarterback, Max Brosmer. I know Riley Leonard probably has a little bit more talent than Max Brosmer, but the Seattle defense playing at home is something that I do not want to touch. That game is a no-touchy for me, like especially the quarterback position for Indianapolis. So I don't like either of them, to be honest. But I mean, shout out to Riley.
If you look at the prices, DraftKings thinks it's going to be Phillip Rivers. He's priced higher. Yeah. He's at like 4,700, 4,900, somewhere around there. And Leonard's at 4,400. So I would imagine that DraftKings is thinking it's going to be Phillip Rivers, which if they announce Riley Leonard's the starter at 4,400, maybe you could throw a dart on there, but I just can't imagine that they're going to have any success against Seattle's defense.
Yeah, not enough to warrant. I feel like. I mean, it's 12 fantasy points approximately for Riley Leonard. He has more rushing upside than Phillip Rivers, obviously.
Absolutely, if the knee's healthy.
Yeah, which is crazy that he's listed lower than Phillip Rivers. I mean, they got Phillip Rivers listed about 15 fantasy points. I mean, he's going to need 1, if not 2 touchdowns versus Seattle to meet that price with no rushing ability at all. I mean, 44 years old. Yeah, 0. Bold prediction. Not really a bold prediction. I think the Seattle defense is going to lay Phillip Rivers over their knee and absolutely that game. I give him 1 sack, maybe 2, before he's just like folded like a quesadilla on the ground. Just my opinion. Just, I think it's gonna happen. I just don't see how you're 44 years old. You've been coaching high school football. Oh, also Philip Rivers. This is weird. Philip Rivers actually lives in our hometown as well and coaches the St. Michael's Catholic School. So you got two quarterbacks for the Colts, both from Fairhope, Alabama, where we're from. That is actually really weird now that I think about it. I just forgot about
Yeah.
Philip Rivers living in Fairhope now. Anyway,
Yeah, man. The Fairhope Colts.
all right, we can
Fairhope
pound that
Colts, baby.
on. Let's move on to the
Yeah,
running back.
we need to move on. Let's do. So we're gonna change it up a little bit this week. I'm gonna do wide receivers last because there's tons of stuff to talk about at the receiver position. But we'll go running backs here. Gabe, go ahead and start us off since Cole
Yeah,
did us last time.
yeah. So I mean, I think for the Houston Texans going up against Arizona, it's pretty obvious that Woody Marks is the starter now with Nick Chubb nursing a rib injury. He didn't play that game. He probably played 25% of
Second
that game
half.
before he got out. Yeah, he missed the whole second half. And Woody Marks carried the ball 26 times. I mean, that is a
It's
large
crazy.
volume for him with no Nick Chubb. I don't think Wale, I think he's still there as their uh, third string. He's not going to take really much work
He
from Woody
scored.
Marks considering do what?
He scored last week.
He did score. That was because Woody Marks freaking rolled his ankle or did something and got pulled
Yeah.
out. Vulture City'd it. But I was looking at these. I was looking at run percentages. This is one reason why CJ Stroud's upside is so limited. It's because on average this year they ran the ball 41%, but in their last 3 games they ran it 47%. So I mean they're
Mm-hmm.
split 50-50, but their passing volume hasn't really been needed in the games they played, especially against Kansas City. That game was an absolute dumpster fire of just it was
Yeah.
defense. It was great defensively, but offensively it was not fantastic. But Arizona's letting up 26 fantasy points per game to the running back position, and you're telling me I get Woody Marks by himself in that game with no Nick Chubb or no Agumbawale to Vulture? I think that's a really good spot at 5,600. So give me Woody Marks as one of my favorite running backs this week if Nick Chubb is out. I honestly still like it even if Chubb's in, just because I don't know how much work he'll get. I mean, he's one hit away from going
Yeah.
out again. So, I mean, I do like Marks. And you talked about Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne at 6,500 had a really good game last week. He played 72% of the snaps. That's the highest amount of snaps he's played in that game, and that's mainly because Tootin had a concussion, and also they cleared him to come back in, and then 2 carries in he fumbled, and they were like, all right, yeah, we're going straight to Travis Etienne this week, and Tootin was on the bench, so he had I think he had like 24, 25 points. I think he scored a touchdown, but
Yep.
the New York
Two.
Jets are 30th versus running backs, letting up 26.1 fantasy points per game. So it's kind of a dart throw. He's been a touchdown machine this year. Now, I'll say dart throw only because he has to score a touchdown, but he has scored a lot of touchdowns. He's got 9 in 13 games, so he's a pretty safe bet each week to score touchdowns, which is good for DraftKings. So I do like Travis Etienne at 6,500, but I think he has to score a touchdown, and it wouldn't be hard to see against the New York Jets. But depending on if Tootin plays, I might like it more and more. I don't know how that snap share is going to shake out with the concussion and the fumble last week. I mean, they may get back to a more even snap share. And this year it was about 60-40 between Tootin and ETN, but Tootin has vultured a lot of touchdowns from ETN. I mean, I think you're getting an average of 1 touchdown a game if Tootin's not in that backfield. So, like I said, if you like ETN this week against the Jets to score a touchdown, I think he's the pick for you. And I've got one more guy, and he's really chalky. He's not really a value play. I mean, I think he is. I think technically he is a value for considering how good he is and where he's at in the game he had last week. So I'll go into it. It's Saquon Barkley at 7,100 against the Las Vegas Raiders. He's listed as the 6th cheapest running back. Now, Las Vegas's run defense has been fantastic. They only let up one 100-yard rusher this year in 13 games, and that was Kimani Vidal for the Chargers. But Saquon Barkley had a really, really good game last week, and the Eagles run the ball at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. And Jalen Hurts played so bad last week against a really bad defense. So it was surprising to say the least how bad Jalen played. And like I said, we talked about it on the TikTok channel. I expected them to this getting close to the playoffs let Saquon start eating. They're kind of load managing at the beginning of the season, and he went for 122 and a touchdown and broke off that long 52-yard touchdown. So I really think that it's a good spot for Philly, and I believe they're playing at home too against Vegas. At what point does Vegas go into tankathon? And you may have seen a little bit of that against the Chargers. So players are maybe they're not playing as hard as they were at the beginning of the season now that the season's falling out. And also no Geno Smith probably with a right shoulder injury. So that's his throwing shoulder. You may get
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. And if that's the case, the tank is on, fellas. Expect Philly to drop at least 30 in that game against the Raiders defense, and maybe a couple snaps into the game, we get some of the big players with an injury for the Raiders, and you can just collect a check. Don't wish anything bad on the Raiders players. I don't know if you guys are morally corrupt there, but you are in Vegas. So I'll let you. One of you guys go next. I've said too much.
I gotcha. Also, don't sleep on Kenny Pickett. So I've got a couple running backs written down. Woody Marks, one of my favorite plays this week at 5,600. I'm with you, Gabe. 28 touches last week is incredible. You get that kind of volume. We always talk about it. Value by volume. That is where you want it. And at that price, if he gets 28 touches again against that defense,
like it.
really like that play.
Really high floor. That volume.
Yeah, absolutely. Travis Etienne was on my list as well. The only thing I'll add to you is add on is New York Jets are tied fourth worst, allowing 17 rushing touchdowns this year. So they have allowed quite a bit of work to the running back position.
You're running out of like running back values. Like we've said this in weeks before. Like you're not really getting really cheap running backs at this point of the season. Their price is due to their upside. So that's kind of what you have to find. And I think Woody Marks has the best upside.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his price is great for that kind of volume for sure. So Woody Marks, Travis Etienne, second guy, third guy I've got is Ashton Genty at 5,800 versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia's surprising stats here, boys. Philadelphia 132 yards per game by the rushing attack, which is seventh worst in the NFL. They also have allowed 14 rushing touchdowns this season. I talked about it a little bit last week. I think this is a much better matchup for Genty than the Denver Broncos, obviously. But Genty target share or targets in the last 4 weeks, 28 targets, 7 targets a game, which is pretty incredible. He's getting quite a bit of work through the air, which is surprising. I don't know that I saw it a whole lot in college. I think he was just kind of pounding people on the ground. So it's kind of been, if he gets that volume through the air, pause. If he gets that volume through the air, 7 targets is a great opportunity. I just like the matchup a lot better this week. I think this could be a price where if he gets in the end zone, you could see some serious value from him this week. And then the other two guys, I'll save it. We can just kind of talk about it later. I'll let you go, Cole. What you got?
Yeah, a lot of you guys mentioned Travis Etienne already. Chase Brown's been mentioned already, right? Y'all mentioned Chase Brown, didn't you?
No, we didn't mention Chase Brown.
Okay, good. Chase Brown, 6,700 against Baltimore. He's had 6 straight with 18 points or more. He is. He's actually not touchdown dependent. He's only scored 5 touchdowns all year, but he's still putting up 18 points a game. So big reason with that is he's able to catch. He's able to catch so well and get receiving yards, and he's also getting a lot of touches. So Chase Brown, Baltimore is not a fantastic defense. Their run defense is better than their pass defense. Their run defense is ranked 15th, but they are still letting up a lot of points. So Chase Brown is typically a goal line guy, so he's good. I think he's good for possibly a touchdown this weekend. Another guy I got, I'm surprised y'all didn't mention, is Travion Henderson at 6,100. Buffalo is awful at stopping the run. They are terrible at stopping the run. They're 26th versus running backs, 28th in rushing yards allowed per game. And Travion Henderson has the potential to have big games. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he had 31, and then the game after that, he had 32. So he's got the potential to have big games. So he's probably somebody I'm expecting to have low ownership, 6,100, just because he's not the flashy play. But
you got to watch it, man. Is Stevenson playing? Do you know? Is he healthy? Because if he is, I just looked at the snap share. He got 58% of the snap last week, and Henderson got 48. So it's
scares you.
They hate Travion Henderson for some reason.
Scares you.
I do not get it. I do not understand that because it's clear, like their rushing attack was so much better.
Oh, it's not even close. Like how much better he is, how much quicker
It's
he is to
like,
hit the hole, and when he breaks away, like it's the way he makes people miss. It's not even close. Like
yeah, they're just wasting him on the bench.
Yeah.
He should be a guy that's getting 20 touches a game easy,
Yeah,
and
easy.
Stevenson somehow keeps out snapping him, which is just blows my mind.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
Anyways, I
assuming it
didn't mean
has
to
to do
cut
with
you off.
I'm assuming it has to do with pass protections and things like that, and just being a rookie, being young. But yeah, I mean, Travion Harrison's got so much more bounce and so much more potential to have a big day than Ramondre Stevenson. No offense to him, because he had some good years in his heyday. But yeah, then my third guy I had was Travis Etienne Jr., which we already talked about. I like Woody Marks too. I didn't realize he was that cheap. Overlooked him. Also overlooked that he had 28 touches. So good call, good pull by you guys. I'm intrigued by that as well. Those are all the guys that I feel like are worth mentioning.
yeah, yeah. I tried to hit on a couple chalky plays just to get
Yeah.
some potential.
The
Just
only other the
Yeah.
only other play I like is Derrick Henry at
Oh yeah,
7,300 against the 32nd Cincinnati defense to the running back position, allowing an astonishing 31.9 fantasy points per game,
yeah.
155 rushing yards a game, and they've allowed 15 rushing touchdowns this year.
That sounds
So
like a setup for a bad day for Derrick Henry. Is
Zag.
what it
That's the
sounds like.
zag for Lamar Jackson.
that's
Be
the
like,
zag. Yeah, exactly. That's the zag. If you think, like, if you look at ownership out there and Lamar Jackson's at 20%, because the reality is this is the cheapest Lamar Jackson's been. I only went back 20 games, and this is the cheapest he's been in 20 games. So if you want to zag because you think he's going to be high ownership, Derrick Henry may be the play at 7,300.
you'll be cold in Cincinnati, and you can only tackle Derrick Henry so many times before those arms go numb.
Or you can have Derrick Henry fumble 2 or 3 times, knowing
Hey, you
him.
stop
You
that.
don't say that.
You don't do that.
Just saying.
All right.
Just saying. Throwing it out there.
Anybody else got running backs?
No.
Nope. Good.
All right, sweet. Tight end. Everybody likes a good tight end. I will start us at the tight end position. I've got Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely, whichever you prefer, because they're playing Cincinnati, who is also 32nd to the tight end position at 24.9 fantasy points per game. So I did some deep diving on tight ends versus defense. Cincinnati allows the highest targets to tight ends in a game, 10.54 on average. The highest receptions allowed to the tight end position at 7.46 a game. They also allow the most yards against the tight end position at 96.77. And they also allow 1.15 touchdowns per game to the tight end position. So all worst in defense against the tight end position. So whichever you prefer. I personally prefer Likely in this matchup. I don't know why. Plums are saying take him. So I like either one of them. You could play both. Maybe it's a both game for them. Maybe they'll both get touchdowns for you at that price.
Yeah.
Um, second guy I've got, or third, depending on how you want to look at it, is Theo Johnson at 3,500 versus Washington, who is 28th to fantasy tight ends, 16.3 fantasy points per game allowed. Washington is allowing 61.3 yards per game to the tight end position, 5 receptions, and 0.7 touchdowns per game from that position. We've talked about Theo a bit on the podcast, but he's been a great target for Jackson Dart. He scored a lot of touchdowns this season. However, he has not scored a touchdown in 4 straight weeks. I like that trend to be broken this week. It's time. So I like Theo Johnson at 3,500. And then the other guy I like is AJ Barner at 3,200 versus Indianapolis. Been a little bit slower the last couple of weeks, but Indianapolis is 25th to the tight end position, allowing 15.8 fantasy points per game. Colts allow the third most yards to the tight end position at 68.82 or 62. They allow the fourth most targets to the tight end position. And the biggest thing for Barner is consistently on the field. He's getting a lot of snap share.
Yeah.
And then Arroyo, I was looking at Arroyo, one of his backups. It looks like he's dealing with a knee injury. So there's potential that AJ Barner gets, that high snap count. And he's had games where you've seen those kind of breakout slate breaker games, so to speak. So I really like him at 3,200. But those are the 3 to 4 guys that really stand out to me this week.
Missed
But
guy.
Gabe, what you got?
You're going to be kicking yourself for this one. But I do. I'm gonna go to Theo Johnson first because the price is confusing to me. 3,500. You're supposed to be pricing on potential upside. He's the second leader, and he leads the team. He's second in targets on that team behind Wandale Robinson, who's averaging almost 10 targets a game. Theo's somewhere around 7 or 8. So at 3,500, you're talking about maybe 9 to 10 points there. Hadn't had a touchdown since week 9. I also picked up on that trend as well, Britton. So I'm glad you mentioned it. But
Yes,
Washington's letting up 16 fantasy points per game, like you said. I mean, it's crazy that he's at 3,500 with such a juicy matchup. So I like it a lot. Oh, you're gonna be mad you missed this one, buddy. Harold Fannin Jr.
Look, hey,
4,000.
look, he's on my season long. I saw it, didn't miss it. Love it.
But
Just I
Njoku
figured somebody would have him. So I'm letting y'all take the credit for this. So when the TikTok goes viral because he went for 30, Gabe, your name will be on this. So you're welcome.
Njoku injured his knee in that game versus the
Yeah.
Titans, and he hasn't practiced this week. So the Harold Fannin Jr. breakout is upon us. He had 11 targets last week, 28 fantasy points. He's an absolute no-brainer for me. He's probably my favorite play this week, going up against Chicago, who hasn't been amazing on defense. So he is I think, bona fide wide receiver 1 now for that team. Jerry Judy's had some good
Absolutely.
games, but no, Fannin is 1,000% their number 1 pass catcher. Is giving me Trey McBride vibes, to be honest with you, on that team. Just how much they get him involved without Njoku. With Njoku, don't love it as much. But without Njoku, elite play. Elite.
It's must start.
Must start. Mason Taylor, 3,100, another guy that I have circled. Called it last week as like my plum pick. He tied the team in targets with John Mechie. Didn't have an amazing game, but Brees, this is why I like it so much, Co. The Jets are playing, I forgot who they're playing. They're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville is actually first in the NFL in stopping the run, only allowing 82 yards a game on the ground. So if the New York Jets have any hope against Jacksonville, they're going to have to abort the run early, and Brees Hall's questionable with a knee injury. So if Brees Hall is out, they're definitely going to have to sling it around. And the backup as Isaiah Davis there, if Brees Hall's out, I think that's a solid play there at the price because he's so cheap, and they're going to have to sling the ball around. But yeah, I think Mason Taylor at 3,100 in a pass heavy game could be a good play. But Tyrod Taylor questionable with a groin injury. Justin Fields also questionable. You're talking about potentially getting the quarterback for them is the guy from Missouri. What's his name? Brady
Drew
Cook.
Law. Brady
No,
Cook.
Brady Cook potentially starting for the New York Jets, which scares me to absolute death. He had 30 pass attempts last week and only ended up scoring 4.5 fantasy points. Remember how much he used to run at Missouri when he was there? He used to run at Missouri so much. He didn't have a single rushing yard. He had 1 rush attempt last week. I don't know if this dude thinks he's freaking like prime Tom Brady, but that dude better get those legs going because when you're throwing the ball 30 times and you score 4.5 fantasy points, you need to try something else. That's all I'll say about that. Cole, who you got?
Who was
Yeah,
your
you guys.
3?
Oh, it's
Fannin, Mason,
Theo Fannin,
Theo.
Mason Taylor. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Isaiah Likely already been mentioned. Harold Fannin Jr.'s already been mentioned. I like both of those guys. I like Fannin with the rookie-to-rookie connection with Shador. I like Isaiah Likely over Mark Andrews. I feel like that's kind of, I don't want to say obvious, but it seems like him and Lamar. Lamar looks for Isaiah Likely a lot more than Mark Andrews in the receiving game these days. But he just seems like another receiver in the passing game. So
They need a number 2 receiver because Rashad Bateman and Hopkins, they don't really do it as
Yeah.
well as Zay Flowers does. So yeah, I agree with you. I think they run a lot of 2 tight end sets, and yeah, Likely is a good weapon. He's a mismatch for a lot of teams. Should have had a touchdown last week. I think that was a touchdown. You can debate it all you want. He had that ball for 3 steps and it got hit out. He didn't tuck it, but that should have been a touchdown.
yeah,
And the week
I
before,
agree.
didn't he fumble at like the 1
Yeah,
on
no,
Thanksgiving or something?
yeah. I think he's a good play. That's a good call. Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot too. One guy I'm surprised y'all didn't mention because we've mentioned him a good bit in the past, which y'all are gonna grimace whenever I say this. But Tyler Warren 4,700. I know what you're thinking. You're like, don't do it with the quarterback situation. Well, let me tell you why you should do it with the quarterback situation. Because if Philip Rivers has got that noodle arm that I saw at practice today, Tyler Warren is going to be the top target for him because he's not because it's not far away. He's right in front of your face. So
that wet lettuce.
so if he's short arming that ball in there like I saw it on the video, then Tyler Warren's going to be the guy to play. And then he's just it seems like he's too talented. He's kind of fallen off since the beginning of the year, but he's definitely got potential to go off. So 4,700 is an interesting play. He's my third favorite tight end. He's not obviously Fannon's going to be number one against Chicago, and then Likely's my second.
Yep.
Tyler Warren's going to be a third. So just something to think about. Something to keep in the back of your mind.
Who am I to trash Tyler Warren in that pick, man? And always end up being the guy I say, oh no, he sucks. It ends up going off. So way to zag.
I'll trash him.
I'll try. I'll
Got
trash
me over last week.
Trashing him.
But that's all right.
Don't do it. He's going to make you pay. Old man Rivers, toss that thing around.
Because I didn't pick him, he'll probably go for 50 this week. But
You
Good
heard
point. It's a good point. Those are three guys I got. I like y'all's other picks with Theo. It's not bad with Jackson Dart. He likes
tight end. He likes a good tight end, as we know. You ready to go?
Let's go receivers. This is going to be a list that this is where you find value. Let's just put it like that. So if there's 6 to 7 guys that Gabe throws out, just listen. There's a lot of good. Yes, 6, 7. Yeah, no doubt. That was unplanned, but I'll take it. Just listen. Gabe's the wide receiver value guy. He does the deep dives on these. Cole and I will throw out the occasional, but listen to Gabe. I'm gonna let him go first. Gabe, I know your list is probably 10 deep. Maybe start us with 4, and then we'll circle back to you at the end, so that way we don't both get sniped. Cole, cool with that?
Yeah. How about this? Don't give us the reasons why you pick them. Just name them. Go bam, like one after another. Just bam, 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 and we'll choose who we like the most out of the ones you name.
I didn't go super deep on this slate because I don't think there's a lot of really cheap receivers with high volume. But I do have a couple guys that I'm looking at. My favorite one is Jaden Reed at 4,500. And then I got Terry McLaurin 5,400, Wandell Robinson 5,900, and Jerry Jeudy at 4,400. Those are my 4 guys. Either of you have those guys?
Yeah, I've got 2 of them.
We got 2 of them.
Oh dang! Let me zag a little.
I can adjust. I got 2 on the back pocket just in case. Go ahead.
You don't have Jaden Reed, right?
I do not have Jaden Reed. Sell me on Jaden Reed.
All right, let me sell you on Jaden Reed a little bit. And I just looked at this. He's questionable with a shoulder injury, limited in practice, but I think he's fine. I think
I've heard enough.
I think that's just maintenance related. No, it's the matchup versus Denver is absolutely terrible on paper.
Dude, pick Christian Watson and forget about Jaden Reed.
No,
please.
dude. Okay, so Denver, obviously, their best player on defense is Pat Surtain, and he'll be on the outside against Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. So where does that leave Jaden Reed? In the slot. He played 47% of the snaps last week back from his injury, and he should avoid Pat Surtain. And I looked at his stats last week. He had 4 targets, 4 catches for 31 yards. He also had 2 rushing attempts for 22 yards. That's extreme involvement in the offense at a 47% snap share. I only expect that to go up with Matthew Golden being absolute hot dog water. Shout out to the New York hot dog stands that I just saw this weekend. Matthew Golden has been terrible. He's been the water that leaks out of the bottom of the hot dog cart this year, and everybody said he was going to be the fantasy sleeper that was going to win year leagues, and he has not been that guy. So they get Jaden Reed back, who Matt LaFleur, for some reason, likes so much. I mean, he's got a man crush on Jaden Reed. Whenever Jaden Reed plays, I mean, he gets him involved early and often, as we saw last week. In his first game back since week 2 when he suffered that injury against Washington. And week 1, 5 targets, 3 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown at 13.5 points. So You're talking about in 2 games he's played, averaging about 11 fantasy points. So I like him versus Denver. I think he'll be low owned and heavily involved in that game. Where should I go next? Not Terry McLaurin, probably.
I'm good with Terry.
Terry. All right.
Wait, Cole, do you got Terry?
I've got Terry. Yeah, I
Okay.
got Terry.
Zag. All right. What about Jerry Judy? Either of you guys have Jerry Judy?
I've got Jerry
Aye.
Judy.
Either of you have Wandale Robinson?
Aye.
If I ever pick Wandale Robinson, then this will be the end of that podcast for me because I'm washed.
Okay, well.
Go.
Let me
I'll let you, Gabe. You do Jerry. You
Jerry?
do Wandell. I'll do Jerry.
Okay. So Wandale Robinson, averaging, like I said, 10 targets a game in his last 8. That's more than Devontae Adams. But we know with Devontae Adams, you're talking about extreme touchdown production at his price, over 7,000. I looked at Wandale Robinson's games. He only has, I think, did I see 2 touchdowns this year? 3 touchdowns this year. When he scores a touchdown, he's pushing over 20 fantasy points every single time. He had 33 points against the Detroit Lions. He had 156 yards and a touchdown, and then in week 2, 142 yards and a touchdown versus Dallas. So he's had 2 games this year with 31 points. Both of those games he scored a touchdown. So where does that lead me? I looked up. Washington is letting up the 6th most touchdowns to wide receivers this year. So I think Wandale Robinson is a good bet to get in the end zone this week and outscore his projection at 5,900. That's my Wandale Robinson sell you on Wandale. Cole's not sold. Cole's not sold.
I am sold. Cole, you go
I'm
ahead and
not
let yours
sold.
rip.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
not sold. My guy, you've already named 2 of them, and Jerry Judy and Terry McLaurin. I'm going AJ Brown 6,800 against Las Vegas, and let me tell you why.
Tell us.
James P. Sullivan's not going to be in the secondary this week for the Raiders. Superstar James P. Sullivan got 4 picks on
man.
ESPN2 the other night. But in the last 3 games, AJ Brown's had 28, 38, and 19. So Sirianni, I feel like I got a pretty good read on him. He's going to try and do a redemption game
That's true.
for Jalen Hurts. So I'm expecting him to sling around a little bit, and especially with Vegas, as you mentioned earlier, only letting up one 100-yard rusher in 1 game. So they're gonna have to have passing to have production. So Jalen Hurts is going to be under the spotlight this week. He's going to have to show that he can do it. I feel like that's what Sirianni's planning. So I'm going to go with AJ Brown this week at 6,800. The other 2 guys have already been mentioned. Jerry Judy. The Bears are vulnerable in defense. They can get beat. Shador seemed to have pretty good connection with Jerry Judy so far. And then last guy's Terry McLaurin, 5,400 against the Giants. He's good with Mariota, as we saw whenever he scored 23 the other day. And then the Giants are 28th versus receivers. So those are my 3 guys.
Yeah, Chicago's let up the 3rd most touchdowns to wide receivers this year.
27 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, so Jerry Judy with a touchdown last week. I also think he's a solid bet to score a touchdown this week with Shador
100%.
after scoring a touchdown last week.
Sounds like a prep parlay is being built right now.
I know, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to throw one together when y'all are. I've told you this for weeks. You just let me know. We'll get it rolling, baby.
Hit that thing. Have new webcams.
So who
Let's
you got?
do it.
You got
All right, so y'all have covered my receivers. I won't spend too much time. I'm going to go 2 deep cuts on you. Won't spend much time on them, but just somebody to think about. I've got Jalen Coker at 3,900. Last time we saw Coker, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 74 yards, and a touchdown. He's a sneaky play. We saw him last year a little bit kind of go off in some injury opportunities. When injuries arose, he had opportunity. I think I like him a lot at 3,900. I don't know that I love him against New Orleans defense. They've been pretty solid, to be honest with you. They don't get a great rap because their record sucks, but they're not that bad. Another guy to think about with Parker Washington questionable is Tim Patrick at 3,700. Last week, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. And he's priced at 3,700, like I said. So those are 2 guys that are pretty close to 4,000, still in the 3,000 range. coming off really good weeks. See if the connection continues into week 15. Just two guys you could potentially take a stab at and see what happens. So,
Yeah, let me say one more about Terry McLaurin. So the New York Giants are letting up 36.8 points to wide receivers this year.
yeah,
Marcus Mariota or Terry McLaurin missed a lot of the season this year with a quad injury, and he has he has 2 touchdowns in his last 3 games. Both those games were with Marcus Mariota at the quarterback position, not Jaden Daniels. So,
yeah,
once again, another touchdown potential pick, Terry McLaurin. We're just throwing out a parlay here. So far, we got Theo Johnson because he hasn't scored since week 9. Jerry Judy, Wandale, Terry McLaurin.
you throw
4
Fannin in there too.
Throw Fannin in there too. That's 5. We may have to go in on. Well, can't do Judy and Fannin. That's
Actually, give me Likely.
Likely. I like Likely. Maybe we let Likely in there instead of Judy. That's a little spicy going Judy and
I like
Fannin.
that.
Yeah,
dude.
all right,
Cook
we'll
it. Give me the odds on that after this, or do it right now because I'm about to dive into the next segment. All right, we got.
Hold on. I gotta say one more thing about Saquon before we start. I meant to say this and I forgot to say it. Las Vegas is letting up 24.4 points per game to the running back position, but they've only let up one 100-yard rusher this year. So why is that? Well,
TDs.
obviously, if you're letting up 100-yard or 24.4 points a game to the running backs, but you're only letting up less than 100 yards, it's got to be because you're catching passes and letting up running back touchdowns. So
it's perfect. Perfect.
Is Mike Wazowski going to be playing for the Eagles this weekend?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
Watch out for the vulture touchdown by Wazowski.
Yep. Both Hall of Famers.
If y'all can't tell, I really enjoyed that Monsters Inc. game, which is embarrassing because I don't have any kids. I don't have any reason to watch it.
But I really wanted my son to watch it, but he was already asleep. So
yeah, I watched that play when Kamani Vidal caught that pass out of the backfield and took it for 60 yards. I watched that play and I flipped it to the ESPN2 game thinking that it already happened. And then I watched it and James P. Sullivan caught it out the backfield and ran for 60. Let me tell you, I was just absolutely pumped up, man. I loved every second of it.
Oh, man.
It's terrible.
Too much
28 years old.
Something you
I love it.
Yourself, buddy. Sometimes.
Oh, man. You say that like we didn't watch Monsters, Inc. all the time. We watched Monsters, Inc. all the time, man.
I'm trolling you, man. I'm trolling you.
Monsters University, also good. All right, let's do Cole. Cue me up a little soundboard action. Let's do little plum picks before we jump into core 4. Let's see how timely he can do this. Here. I'll feel some dead air.
We got a little dead air coming. I gotta get it pulled up here.
All right. Oh my gosh.
I got
feel the tension in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I love it. Here we go. Plum picks. I got to recover because last week I don't even know if I have plums left.
The whole point, man. Plum picks are supposed to be risky, and if you fail your plum pick, that's expected. So it's all right. That's why it's a plum pick.
My plum pick. I'll start us off. Isaiah Likely.
I like it.
Just under 100 receiving yards and a touchdown.
I like it.
I'll go 94 yards and a touchdown.
I'm in.
Cole.
Yeah, Cole, go ahead.
Y'all roasted me last week because I pulled a name so deep out of the hat that y'all weren't expecting it. And I said Sean Tucker.
Yeah, you're right.
That man scored a touchdown exactly how I told y'all he would score a touchdown because I've watched him score several touchdowns against the New Orleans Saints. I just want to put that out there.
It was a good call.
So, with that being said, I'm not picking Sean Tucker again. Man, I don't know who I should pick this week. Give me Shador Sanders. Give me Shador to have another productive week.
Yeah, great plum pick there, coming off 37 points.
It's 4,700. That counts.
All right, man. I'm giving you the Britain treatment when Britain's like.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not me, dude.
I remember who Britain picked. Dude's like coming off like a 40-point game. He was like, "Yeah, I'm about plum pick this week. Going up against the worst."
JJ McCarthy.
Well, that was a plum pick. Now looking back, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
That was a plum pick. My plum pick is Jaden Reed at 4,500.
Oh yeah, the wide receiver one for the Green Bay Packers. That's a great
Oh,
pick.
he's wide receiver one coming off a shoulder injury.
That's a great pick. Wide receiver one for the Green Bay Packers guy.
Yeah, he's a plum pick going against the Denver Broncos defense. What a pull there. That's a great matchup. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick Jackson Smith and Jigba this week for my plum
Slate
pick.
breaker.
I mean, if Shadur Sanders was going up against the prime steel curtain defense, I'd say, hey man, that's a plum pick. But you picked a juicy matchup coming off 37 points.
He's playing the '84 Bears.
That's not a tingle that you have to get checked out. I mean, everybody has that tingle.
Versus the '87 Bears. Whatever year the Bears had that really good defense.
Anyway,
Yeah,
give me
Here we go, boys.
4,500 as I'm gonna say. I'm gonna predict a stat line. I'm gonna go 6 catches. I'm gonna go 6 catches, 80 yards.
Touchdown or
Buffalo.
no touchdown?
No touch. I'm gonna say a rushing touchdown.
Ooh,
Rushing
that is
touchdown.
plum worthy for sure.
Put that in the parlay. Good lord.
Don't put that one in the parlay. Core 4. We'll go with Cole starts off core 4. What you got?
Give me Shador, bust down AP Sanders, Travis Etienne Jr., Jerry Judy, Scary Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Yep.
Gabe?
Me? I'm going Marcus Mariota, 5,000. Stacky with Terry McLaurin, who I really should pick Deebo Samuel, but I'm going to go Terry McLaurin at the same price. Terry McLaurin.
I need to make sure I can win this Core 4 contest we have. Make sure, go ahead and pick Deebo Samuel.
You got a long way to go, buddy. I got Harold Fannin, 4,000. And then I'm debating, which I'll clarify before the week starts. I'm between Woody Marks and Theo Johnson, but I really like Theo Johnson at his price. It's going to depend on whether or not Chubb is playing or not in that spot. So
Yeah, I like that.
I'll clarify, but I got core 5.
That's all right. I'm kind of with you. I got Jackson Dart. I've got Woody Marks, Isaiah Likely, and then I'm gonna throw in a surprise pick. I'm gonna go Darius Slayton as a zag to Wandale Robinson. Those are my core 4 for this
I feel like
week.
that's a targeted attack against Gabriel's Wandale Robinson pick.
But I need to catch up in the point standing on the core 4, so that is my sleight of hand. Hopefully that works out for me, but we'll see. One thing I did want to talk about before we jump into optimal lineups, just because we have a few minutes, maybe potentially. I know we're running a little long, but slate breakers for this week. If you look at it, there's 13 games, right? So as long as you can capture 1, maybe 2 slate breakers this week, you're in a good position to win some money, because there's going to be a lot of variance in these lineups. So can you find that 1 to 2 range to put your total like floor at 60 points? 2 guys can get you 30. If you're looking over your slate breakers, guys, is there anything matchup wise that you really like? Is there a Jahmyr Gibbs, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jonathan Taylor out there that you really like as a slate breaker for this week?
I'll tell you who I like. Nico Collins, 6,700 going against Arizona.
Yeah.
He's been a target. He's been a target monster. Hadn't had a touchdown in 3 weeks, but the matchup is juicy, and I really like Nico Collins to potentially score a long touchdown, maybe 1, maybe 2 this week, and break the slate. But Jamar Chase at 8,100, cheaper than Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka Nacua. Last time he played against Baltimore, they absolutely force-fed him the ball into 14 targets for 110 yards. He only caught 7 for 110. Didn't score a touchdown. He has not scored a touchdown. Let's see. Yeah, he's not scored a touchdown in 1, 2. Hold on. He's not scored a touchdown in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks either, as well. Jamar Chase hasn't. So Joe Burrow back. Juicy matchup against Baltimore, coming off 14 target game against them. You got 2 players there with good matchups, I think, could potentially break the slate.
Yeah, I like it. And this is a question that wasn't scripted, so I know Cole's probably looking over this really quickly. I've thought about it a little bit. I like Devontae Adams as a slate breaker potentially against Detroit. I think the play will be Puka. A lot of people will go with him, but Devontae Adams' touchdown ability is at the goal line this year has been stupid.
Yeah.
So I really like him a lot. And then another guy I really like as a potential slate breaker is going to be Derrick Henry at 7,300 as a potential zag to the Lamar Jackson play. I feel like those are guys, both of them are very touchdown dependent. I don't feel like Puka just gets so many yards. I think that it's going to come down to touchdowns, and can Devontae Adams be the touchdown machine? Can Derrick Henry be the touchdown machine? Because if you get those guys with 2 touchdowns, you're sitting really pretty as a potential slate breaker for this week. Cole, what you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Jackson Smith and Jigba just because he's consistently got such a high floor. I mean, his worst 2 weeks of the season, he had 13 in week 4, and then he laid up one stinker in week 13 against Minnesota, 4 catches. But everything since then has been above 20 points, and has had a couple performances over 30, with one over 40. So his floor is always gonna be high. That's why he's 8,600, and he seems to be the model of consistency with a Seattle offense. So I always pick him because he's so productive. Jonathan Taylor's been a popular pick, but he's also laid down. I think he's laid down more stinkers than Njigba has. So I'm going with Njigba again this week. So
I like it. All right, let's go optimals. Here's the AI optimal lineup for this week, predicting 143.7 fantasy points. It is Jackson Dart at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey at running back, Woody Marks at running back, Jackson Smith and Jigba at receiver 1, Terry McLaurin at receiver 2. They go 2 Washington receivers with Deebo Samuel as your second or third receiver, Harold Fannin Jr. at your tight end position, Juwan Johnson as your flex, double tight end, and the Packers defense. Again, that is 143.7 projected. I will go ahead and roll, and then Gabe and Cole, y'all go behind me. I've got Jackson Dart. I've got Woody Marks. I've got Ashton Genty. I've got Wandale Robinson, Puka Nakua. We didn't talk about this guy, but really like Stephon Diggs in a revenge game against the Buffalo Bills. One of my favorites this week.
that's not a bad pick. He's so petty. He's gonna try. He's gonna try really hard.
Dude, he's going to go off. Isaiah Likely, Travis Etienne, and the Saints defense to finish me off. However, I will say, as news drops, I'm potentially going to shake this up a little bit, but this is kind of where I'm standing as of Thursday night. Cole, what you got?
Me? All right. I'm trying to balance up between what defense I want to pick here to sort it out. Honestly, I have no idea. I'm going to settle on one. It's going to end up hurting me. Shador Sanders at QB1, Chase Brown, Travis Etienne Jr., A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Likely, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and the Jets defense.
That hurts. Yeah. All right, Gabe, with your weird voice, go ahead and let it rip.
Can't believe you just said the Jets defense. That scares me. I'm going Marcus Mariota 5,000, Saquon 7,100, Derrick Henry 7,300, Jamar Chase 8,100, Nico Collins 6,700, Terry McLaurin Stacky with Marcus Mariota, and then Theo Johnson 3,500, and double tight end Harold Fannin 4,000. Buffalo Bills 2,900.
I love it, baby. Got to have a little humor on the print. All right, so as we kind of wrap up the evening, any last minute thoughts as we kind of wrap a bow onto week 15?
You could give me a free lineup, and I will not start Philip Rivers. Or
yeah, that's a no touchy for you.
No touchy, Indy. No touchy.
No
Not even
touchy.
Jonathan Taylor.
I'm assuming your no touchy is going to be Deebo Samuel this week.
You're pretty good. You know your stuff.
Yeah, I pay attention, bro.
It is. Yes. I mean, I don't have anybody picked, so I'm just gonna pick with old reliable. So
yeah, I think for me, it's definitely stay away from the Colts this week. if Phillip Rivers goes off, he goes off. But I'm not touching one of those receivers or the tight end, and probably not Jonathan Taylor either.
Make my day go off. I'd love to see it.
I know, I would too.
Whatever under prop I can get my hands on, I'm parlaying them together. They say Phillip Rivers is starting. I'm taking the under passing touchdown, under passing yards, under passing completions, sacks over whatever the sack is. I'm taking it all.
Yeah, I like it. Well, as we wrap up, Breeze, appreciate you. Congrats on the hoodie. That's it from us on the print. Happy hunting into week 15. Good luck, guys. We're out.
Congratulations, man.